In this lesson, we're going to go straight on from after the Battle of Marathon, so 490 BC, to the reaction of the Persians, the other side of the hill, and the rise to power of the next great Persian king, Xerxes. So we're going to recall his motivations and plans, understand his dilemmas, and to evaluate Herodotus and what he says about all this. So, it's 490 BC, loses the defeat at Marathon, reaches the Persian Empire, reaches Persepolis. Darius is the king, and he's, as you can imagine, completely furious. He's convinced he's the great king. He's invincible. This is a huge humiliation to him. And he instantly orders another expedition, but this time a bigger one, taking no chances. He's going to marshal troops all over the empire, and this time he's going to crush the Greeks. But at the same time, according to Herodotus, he's got another problem. He's now getting quite old. He has to figure out the succession. Who is going to come next? It's not a straightforward job in the Persian system. He hasn't got one wife and an eldest son. He's got loads of wives in a harem. He's got loads of sons, and he's got to try and decide which one of his various sons is the right guy to lead the Persian Empire after his death. So lots of plotting, lots of persuasion. You have the eunuchs who guard the harem. I'll explain that in class who they are, getting involved. You've got various wives trying to make sure their sons are the ones who become king next. So Darius, he's got a lot on his plate. But while he's getting ready, gathering his forces, making preparations for this next attack, he gets hijacked, as it were. Within his empire, there are uprisings. In 494, 495 BC, there are at least one, probably two uprisings. There's definitely a large revolt in Egypt, which has to be sorted out. There's also quite possibly a large revolt in Babylon. And it's while these are starting, and while Darius is not quite sure what to do next, who to crush first, Darius dies. He's chosen his son Xerxes as his successor. So Xerxes comes next. He's not his eldest son, but he is the chosen son to be the next high king of Persia. And he's got a problem. Do I instantly go off, follow my father's plans, and destroy the Greeks? Or do I sort out Egypt and Babylon first? Which do I do? What do I do first? Now, obviously, what he has to do is crush the revolt in his own backyard first. But he's also got other people, traitors and courtiers, who are vying for his ear. On the courtier side, he's got a cousin. It's a big part of this story, a guy called Mardonius. And Mardonius is very keen on leading the Persian attack on Greece and destroying the Greeks. He probably wants to be the satrap of Greece. Afterwards, he wants the glory. If you remember, we heard about earlier, he led the initial attack on northern Greece, Thrace and Macedonia. So he's constantly bothering Xerxes, constantly advising him, we've got to attack the Greeks. You can't let this humiliation stand. At the same time, somebody else appears in the scene, a man called Demaratus. And Demaratus is a big part of our story. He's a Spartan. He's a Spartan now working for the Persians. And he's not just any old Spartan. He's one of the kings. He's a Spartan king. Demaratus was the king of Sparta alongside King Cleomenes. Cleomenes was the dominant king. And several times they clashed during their reign. In the end, Cleomenes had Demaratus deposed, taken off the throne. He made up some story about him being a bastard, and the king's not his father, some slaves his father. He got the various oracles to say this is true. In the end, Demaratus was deposed as king, and his cousin Leochidas took over. So he's now the ex-Spartan king. He's still in Sparta, but he keeps on being humiliated. He feels bad about this, and the Spartans won't let it go. Leochidas, who's taken over, won't let it go. And he gets insulted in the streets. And in the end, he has enough, and Demaratus leaves Sparta, and he's so upset about the way he's been treated, he actually goes over, swaps sides, and joins the Persians. And he's going to be a big help to the Persians. He knows the way the Spartans fight. He can give good advice. In the same way that Miltiades was a meat fighter, Demaratus can give fantastic advice to the Persians about fighting Greeks. So, the decision. At the same time as putting down the revolts in Babylon and Egypt, Xerxes continues planning, big time planning, for the invasion of Greece. He's not going to take any chances. He's putting together an enormous army, not 30,000 this time, hundreds of thousands at least. He's planning to walk there. He's going to cross the sea just here, it's called the Hellespont. And to cross the sea, he's going to have a bridge of boats built. A pontoon bridge, a massive mile-wide pontoon bridge. Then he's going to march all the way to Greece. He's also going to bring a fleet with him. And just around here, there's lots of storms. He knows this. So he's going to, just there, dig a canal. And that's exactly what he does. As his engineers dig a canal through the land so he can get his fleet through without it going round in the open sea and possibly getting sunk. Big engineering projects could only possibly be done by an incredibly rich and powerful kingdom. Now for our assessment phase, we're going to ask what is wrong with this story. Source evaluation. All the way through this lesson, I've been talking to you about what's going on in the Persian court. And we're going to ask ourselves a question, what could be wrong with this story?